be said, I invite forward Sheikh Narayan Hamid from the Leonora Masjid and Pandit Vijay Kupchan to pray for us.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be with you all. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all of us, His Excellency, His ministries, and continue to give us guidance in this land, make us success in all endeavors. Thank you very much.
My humble namaskar and a blessed evening to everybody. We are all standing for prayers because there's a greater belief that there's a greater person beyond all of us and what we do and what we see. Today, with that belief, with that trust in God, we stand as we pray together, as we stand together for the betterment of our country. Prayers is a form of love and gratitude to God. And I'm very much sure as we all stand here, we have so much to be thankful for. We are here to be thankful for our dear President, most honorable, most respectable, most caring and loving to all fellow citizens. We thank God for him. We thank God for his cabinet. We thank God for our international and our local investors and everybody who is willing to put our country ahead. Today we pray in order for success to happen, then all obstacles should be removed. Then join me in prayers as we pray for the one greater good of success, God's blessings, and our country moving ahead. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. We pray that may God lead us from untruth to truth, from that which is unreal to real, from the darkness of ignorance onto the light of knowledge always. Om Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukhabhag Bhavet. We pray that may none suffer, may all be happy and fearless, and may God bless us all with peace and prosperity. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. God bless us all.
Thank you, brothers. You may now be seated. Your Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Honorable Prime Minister, Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, Honorable Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Barrett, and other cabinet members, Chief of Defense Staff, Brigadier Omar Khan, Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, Vichy directors and their families, President of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alistair Rutledge, Area Manager for Yandinol, Mr. Patrick Loy, PSC Chairman, Mr. Komal Singh, and other distinguished business leaders, Region 3 officials, residents, special invitees, those tuned in via terrestrial broadcast and social media streaming. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Vreed-en-Hoop Shorebase Incorporated Port Facility. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. It's good to be here this afternoon. They say the west side is the best side, and it's always good to be in Region 3 as we continue to live in extraordinary times where bold ideas are no longer dreams, but reality is taking place right in front of our eyes. And looking around the room this evening, it's clear that you all are the visionaries, turning those ideas into action. This fort, with its cutting-edge design and engineering dynamism, as we'll hear later in the program, it reflects the forward-thinking spirit that has placed Guyana on the global stage. Attention now to the screens, after which we will enjoy Abel Stokes on the guitar.
Vreed-en-Hoop, a land with a legacy steeped in history. During the colonial era, it thrived as a plantation economy, its fertile fields producing sugar and cotton under the labor of enslaved Africans and invented workers. But after emancipation in 1838, freed Africans built vibrant communities, transforming Vreed-en-Hoop into a hub for trade and commerce along the Demerara River. Today, this historic land stands at the forefront of a new chapter, bridging Guyana's rich past with a future of progress and promise. In 2015, ExxonMobil discovered the Liza 1 well in the Stabroek Block, a discovery that unlocked over 11 billion barrels of recoverable oil and placed Guyana at the center of the global energy map. Through their investment and collaboration with local partners, ExxonMobil has driven job creation, infrastructure development, and a vision for sustainable growth, ensuring Guyana's energy wealth empowers its people and the future. Pioneered by NRG Holdings Inc., a 100% Guyanese-owned consortium, and in partnership with Vreed-en-Hoop, a world leader in maritime infrastructure, Vreed-en-Hoop Shorebase Inc. was formed to realize the vision of the port of Vreed-en-Hoop through determination and collaboration. To support ExxonMobil's offshore operations, Phase 1 of the port was brought to life. From the inception of the Port of Vreed-en-Hoop master plan concept in 2021, to the dredging of the Demerara River and the development of a world-class offshore support and fabrication facility, every milestone has been a step forward, strengthening Guyana's energy infrastructure. Hundreds of Guyanese workers contributed to the success of Phase 1, gaining skills, opportunities, and pride in building a foundation for their nation. Today, the port of Vreed-en-Hoop Phase 1 stands as more than a facility. It is a symbol of innovation, collaboration, and progress, uniting the strengths of NRG Holdings, Vreed-en-Hoop, and ExxonMobil to drive Guyana's future forward. Together, we are building a brighter tomorrow for Guyana.
At this time, we now invite the Honourable Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Bharat, for remarks.
Thank you, Michelle. Let me assure Abel that we're digging up our gold and our diamond in a very responsible, sustainable, and environmentally friendly way. His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, our Prime Minister Mark Phillips, Cabinet colleagues, Chief of Staff, members of the Diplomatic Corps, President of ExxonMobil Guyana, Mr. Alistair Rutledge, and the team from ExxonMobil. Importantly, the two families, two local families, the Alfonso family, and of course, Nicholas Boyer. I noticed his father here, Mr. Eddie Boyer and family. And I was asked to also recognize those who are elegant and those who are elegantly dressed here this evening. So, good evening, everyone. Today marks a significant day in the history of our country. It marks a significant achievement in the development of the oil and gas sector in our country. Today we are in a facility that was once a mud flat. During the low tide and during the high tide, it was washed by the waves from the Atlantic Ocean. Today we are on this magnificent facility that was built based on bold decision making, based on the vision, and based on trust. Trust in the leadership of our country, trust in the leadership of President Ali and his government. And those of you who are integrally involved in this particular project will know that the President himself was very involved in this project from the inception to completion. And that shows visionary, bold leadership. It shows partnership that Alice spoke of. It shows partnership between the government of Guyana and the private sector. It shows partnership between the government of Guyana and investors, both local and foreign investors. It shows partnership between the government and our main operator, ExxonMobil, and their co-venturers. It is a demonstration of the trust, of the confidence that you, the investors, have in our country, in our people, and the leadership of our country. It is a demonstration that today, Guyana can be recognized as the fastest growing economy in the world. It is a demonstration that Guyana being recognized as one of the best managed oil and gas sector among new producers in the world. So much so that we've been asked to chair the new producers worldwide group starting from February of this year. That is the amount of work and commitment that our government have shown and we have demonstrated. So the trust has been established, and today we have seen the confidence of investors rising as well too. Because as investors, your investment must be secure, but the only way it can be secure is if there is stability, if there is security on your investment, and if there is a supportive government in place to aid you along and to support you. And that is what the President Ali-led administration has done from day one. Andren mentioned it, and the President from day one have said, we need to ensure that Guyanese benefit from the oil and gas sector. And in no way in the President's statement can it be interpreted that we don't want foreign investment in Guyana. We welcome foreign investment, but we also want Guyanese to play a part in the building out of our oil and gas sector. Today it is being recognized, or the growth in the oil and gas sector in Guyana is being recognized as being unprecedented. I don't think there's any country in the world that has moved from discovery in May of 2015 to forest oil in December of 2019 to producing over 600,000 barrels per day today. And we are well poised with the arrival of the new FPSO later this year to be very close, or maybe over 900,000 barrels per day. And we have already, with ExxonMobil Guyana, signed 2 other production licenses, the Waru and the Whiptail, which will take us way above the 1 million barrel mark per day. This has never been seen in any part of the world. Our success rate at discovery wells offshore, it has never been experienced anywhere in the world, in the high 80s, even onshore or offshore, and in Guyana, it's ultra deep. So there are so many achievements that today we can be here and celebrate. But what must we recognize too is the manner in which our government has built out the framework to manage the oil and gas sector. Because the only way that Guyanese and Guyanese businesses is going to truly benefit from the oil and gas sector is by ensuring that there are opportunities, ensuring that there is a proper framework in place, that the benefits derived will reach the ordinary Guyanese in every single community across the country. And this project here today is a demonstration of that. This project could have been easily sited on the other side of the river in Region 4. But through the President's vision and leadership and guidance, today we are on the other side of the river, in the region that is considered to be the fastest growing region in Guyana, both in population and economic development. This project, the Vreed-en-Hoop Shorebase, along with the gas to energy project, the new Demerara Bridge, and the soon to be renovated and expanded Perico facility, wharf facility, will bring forward economic development to Region 3 and the people of Region 3. And that is the vision of President Ali's administration. It is taking development to every single region in our country so that people can benefit, our people can benefit regardless if it's Shorebase or Region 4 or Region 3 or Region 10, that you're all Guyanese and you have a right to benefit from the resources and the development taking place in the oil and gas sector. Guyana is one of the few countries in the world, especially among new to have a local content legislation in place. There are many countries in the world would have stopped at a local content policy. We took that brave step. Regardless, we took that brave step to ensure that we have a local content legislation. And again, in no way or in no form or in no manner was the local content legislation designed to keep foreign investors and investment away from Guyana. But it was designed to ensure that Guyanese and Guyanese businesses that we are celebrating here today benefit also from the development of the oil and gas sector. And that was a very bold decision by a small country that is now being recognized for what we are doing. A small country that today is the fastest growing economy in the world. And I'll tell you, in 2017, I was on a parliamentary trip to Bangladesh. And almost everyone I introduced myself to, that, oh, I'm from Guyana, the first thing they say, oh, you're from Africa. Because at that time, only 7 to 8 years ago, today I can tell you, we are truly on the world map. And that every single one knows of Guyana. Every single one knows of Guyana. And that is what visionary leadership has done for our country. Because of the local content legislation, today we are seeing over 1,500 local businesses being registered, and most of them are enjoying the opportunities from the oil and gas sector. Because of the local content legislation and because of our program to train Guyanese, today we are seeing almost 7,000 Guyanese directly employed in the oil and gas sector. And I don't think this has happened in any part of the world. It hasn't happened in any part of the world. So this facility here today, our second Shorebase facility in Guyana, will truly hub in this region. Again, this is part of the President's vision to establish Guyana as an oil and gas hub in this part of the region so that we can service other oil-producing countries nearby. We have seen through our policies, through our programs, and through our open door policy to investment and investors, many companies come in and establish their headquarters in Guyana. On my way here, I passed the yard of Technip FMC, and I can recall when that company moved their base to Guyana and say, this is our headquarters in the region. And so many others have done that. And again, that shows the confidence that they have in the leadership of the country, the people of the country, and our policies and programs that are designed to facilitate and incentivize investment in our country from both foreign investors and our local private sector. So today, I wish to congratulate Nick and Andron, as they're fondly known, to me and to us, two young men who would have answered the call, two young men who took the bold decision that they are going to be a part of the oil and gas sector, that they want to play a part in the development of their country. And I want to encourage the others, the many others who we have, to follow in the footsteps of Andron and Nicholas. And of course, I cannot only congratulate Andron and Nicholas without pointing out Mr. Alfonso and Mr. Boyer, the bedrock and the foundation of these two young men. I want to say to those two fathers, you have done a wonderful job. Once again, I want to congratulate and to wish you well. I know it will be a busy period with our new FPSO arriving. I know because of the number of drill ships that we still have offshore operating, that there will be a number of activities or increase in activities in the oil and gas sector as we move forward. Best wishes, congratulations, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Vikram Bharat. To hear more about all the exciting plans, be sure not to miss Minister's budget presentation on Monday, as he and his cabinet colleagues continue to show why the 2025 budget reflects the diverse voices of all Guyanese. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the opening of Port Vreed-en-Hoop Phase 1, together for today and tomorrow, a model of collaboration where every partner plays a crucial role in turning vision into reality. And now we're going to invite a leader whose dedication to Guyana's growth is unparalleled, walking, talking, eating, sleeping Guyana, ensuring the spirit of progress and national unity. Please stand as we invite Region 3's very own and all of Guyana's Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
Thank you very much. Please, you may have your seats. Thank you. Allow me to join in congratulating all the stakeholders in what can only be described as a grand success and transformative. But today is a celebration of partnership, local and international partnership. And I wish for us to put our hands together for this partnership. I want to also add and remind Vic that there are powerful women behind the success of these families too. I can assure you it takes a lot to keep Eddie Boyer and Mr. Alfonso Sr. stable. And they have been kept stable for a very long time. You know, There are a few questions that we must ask ourselves in this stage of development of our country. Questions that are key and critical to our future. Questions that will separate the talkers from the doers. Questions that will separate the pessimists from the optimists. And questions that would answer who occupy the space of policy making in the lens of history. What is development? One recent statement by President Trump is that this is the golden era of the United States. And one may ask a very simple question. One of the most powerful global leaders, if not the most powerful, and one of the most powerful country and economy, decide to establish this era as the golden era. The ordinary would look back and say that they have already passed through many golden periods. But that's the simplistic thinkers. But that statement was not laid and left to ripen itself. It was made, and there are a few aspects of leadership that follows. Tenacity and boldness. The world today is moving in a direction and at a pace that requires leadership that is bold, leadership that is exciting, leadership that generates ideas, leadership that is value-based, and leadership that is responsible. It does not require spur-of-the-moment excitement that would allow someone to belch out a figure that you the tax rate at $400,000 per month. That is the level of irresponsibility that would take us back to a deadly period in the history of our country between 1970 and 80s, when our debt burden went from 230 plus million Guyana dollars to $2.5 billion. And it was debt incurred to carry recurrent expenditure. It was debt incurred to carry wages and salaries, not to grow the economy, not to expand the economy, not to create employment, not to generate wealth. There's a philosophical difference in the two types of policy making. So, where history places us or leaves us is an important question. History of this country places us in a particular mold and mode. But where would this history leave us? Would it leave us right where we are today? Would it leave us as part of the problem? Would it leave us as a generation that was static in our approach to national development? Would it leave us boxed in the economic framework that we are in today? Or would it take us to a place in which we'll all be placed that is sustainable, prosperous, and broad in terms of our economic pillars and economic scope? So I want the private sector, policymakers, to ask ourselves this question: where history placed us today, and where will it leave us? Where should development take us? Or where would development meet us? Very important question. Where should the development part of our country take us? Should it take us confined by 900,000 people, locked into a border that is defined by our geographic space? Or should the development take us into a marketplace that is millions? Or should it open up opportunity that goes beyond our boundaries and borders? Where should the development take us? And whilst we are answering these questions, there are others who are also asking the same question. There is a concept in business called early movers. And you have the early movers advantage. If we remain static in our development path and the way in which we structure our development, we will be late movers. And we'll pay the price for late movers. That we must and should focus on is one that creates sustainability, one that generates economic expansion, one that generates new jobs, one that stimulates wealth, one in which investment and growth goes hand in hand. And if you look at this facility today, we are not just celebrating the completion of a physical infrastructure. We're celebrating the hard work of the more than 400 men and women who worked on this site during construction. We're celebrating the more than 250 persons in the initial phase that will work here permanently. 250 families that will find sustainable jobs here. We're celebrating the policies and the initiative that would have enabled us as a country to bring back more than 80% of the semi-technical and low-level technical jobs that were held outside of our country here in Guyana. More than 80% of those value creation jobs are now held in country because of policies, because of boldness in approach, because of a clear vision, and because of confidence of the private sector. Let us not underestimate this journey that we are here on, lest we forget, between the period 2015 and 2020, one of the first documents that was sent to my desk from the private sector was a document that outlined investments of more than 150 million US dollars left idle, waiting in a file for approval. Within 30 days, we unlocked that investment. And on this Demerara River alone, in the last 4 years, we have seen investment of more than 700 million US dollars. $700 million US dollars that was locked away in a policymaker desk, in a policymaker drawer. Locked away by incompetence, lack of clarity, a misalignment of the country vision and as to what needs to be done. Locked away by incompetence. Just by ensuring that government work and ensuring that government carries out the responsibility that is entrusted on it on governments itself, we were able to unlock more than 700 million US dollars of investment in the Emirat. And this is just the beginning. Because our approach to energy in this region must be to secure and cement ourselves as a major mover and shaker in the energy market within the region that we live in. It will be a complete non-alignment of our energy strategy if our intention is not to position Guyana strategically in the energy mix of this region. And to do that, we need Exxon and the partners. And we need all the other international partners. We need to work on a project that is beyond the scale of Guyana. We need to work on a project that's beyond the scale of Guyana. A project that is a scale of the region. That is what is going to create new energy in the economy. That is what is going to create new wealth. That is what is going to create new excitement. Unless we understand that the future we are building has to be in a scale that we have never seen before. Our playground cannot be the market that exists here alone. And whilst we expand our playground to the region, we have to ensure that the strategies are aligned and clear through which we can have 3 million people passing through this economy by 2030 and beyond. We have to do it. We have to find a formula. And that is why the infrastructure is key and critical. We have the lowest crime rate in the last 10 years, the lowest murder rate, the highest crime detention rate, the lowest serious crime report rate in the last 10 years. We don't celebrate it. But it did not happen by accident. It happened by clarity of vision, clarity of policy, investment in technology, and investment in our human capital. And those investments are necessary if we are to achieve the 3 million people coming through the economy. We have to build a tourism sector that is second to none. And we have to change. From the parents to the children, we have to change our philosophy too. Yeah, it might be great seeing your child leaving home in the morning with a tie and going to work as a clerk behind the desk at the bank and earn $170,000 per month. But your child can also do 6 weeks of training as an operator and earn $600,000 per month. But it requires a philosophy and an ideology. I listened to some of the comments in Parliament. I don't call it debate because some of it lack anything that is close to debate. Comments that seek to reduce the value of persons who are coming up in the hospitality and tourism sector. We have to understand what are the requirements of this country moving forward. I see people asking questions about the investment in infrastructure. It's an infrastructure budget. Well, if you don't have infrastructure, you have to build it. Because development follows infrastructure. If we don't have that 4-lane bridge completed, all this investment on this side of the river can hardly be optimized. And let me make it simple. Let me give you a simple calculation. You have about 20,000 vehicles crossing the Demerara Bridge every day. And Timothy Tucker will tell you that you lose at least 3 hours every day in productive time waiting in the traffic. But let's say we just use 1 hour. That going and coming over the bridge, you lose 1 hour of productive time. And you have 4 persons in a vehicle. That's 80,000 hours every day of productivity we are losing waiting in traffic. And if you use an 8-hour day, that is 10,000 man days we are losing just waiting in a traffic because of inadequate infrastructure and inadequate bridge. And let me tell you something about borrowing, because this is another thing I see. But what is it we are borrowing for? The $500 million US dollars on the gas to energy project is not coming for recurrent expenditure. It is not going towards public service wage bill. It is going towards improving the competitiveness of our country. It is going to an investment that will enable us to bring jobs in Guyana, to develop a first world industrial, manufacturing, agro-processing sector in this country. It is going to reducing the cost of electricity by half. It is going towards putting more disposable income in the pockets of families. It is going towards poverty reduction. It is going towards economic expansion and job creation. The loan that will go towards the building of the bridge. I give you one example of the type of benefit that it will bring. We have to understand the direction in which we want Guyana to go. The vision, a clear understanding as to where the opportunities are. And when you look at where the opportunities are, it's interesting. Let me give you, for example, according to Comtrade, Guyana imported $204 million US dollars from Brazil in 2023. And we exported about $73 million US dollars. In 2023, Guyana was the top export destination for the state of Roraima. Listen to this. We were a top export destination for the state of Roraima in 2023. We have fresh water. We have fertile land. We have access to the Atlantic. We will now have the cheapest energy costs, and we're investing in the most skilled labor force. Just imagine if we convert that import, much of which is value-created goods, into exports. But what does this require? It requires a government that will fight on creating the enabling environment. A government that will fight on creating the trade opportunity. And then a private sector that must fight alongside the policymaker. A private sector that is willing to go to the state of Roraima and say, Guyana will now be your in-transit hub. Let us discuss with you now the migration of industries, whether agro-processing, manufacturing, or industrial industries. Let us discuss the migration of those industries into a market that gives you direct access to the Atlantic and, of course, the market of CARICOM and beyond. We have to be able to create these opportunities for ourselves. the second gas project in Berbice, and the deep water port. In the next term, it is not whether it will happen, it must happen. Because these are key investment for the structural transformation of our country. These are key investment for the value creation that is necessary to generate, first of all, to build, generate, and keep sustainable jobs. It's easy. First of all, you have the job to convince 14 investors to build 14 hotels. Then it's easy and exciting to say we have 14 hotels under construction. But it's also difficult to go to bed knowing that you have to generate enough traffic and ensure that the policy making matrix between someone who can go to bed complaining and someone who go to bed knowing that it has to be fixed and we have to find the winning formula. Success is at our doorstep, but we must search for the winning formula. And the winning formula most times is never going it alone. We must embrace the challenges that are ahead of us. In this region, the future is beyond exciting. When you look at the infrastructure that will connect Region 4 with Region 3, going all the way to Bartica Region 7, the Sandhills Road, and already we have completely laid out the Sandhill Road alignment. Then we have the all important project that lacked the investment to make it possible. The Del Conte alignment that will open up tens of thousands of new acreage of arable farmlands. That will open up the tourism sector. These are the things that we have to start thinking about. These are the things and the areas in which the fuel of the future will be based on. The concept of growing wealth requires innovators. It requires critical thinkers. It requires risk-taking. It requires building partnership. It requires the creation of markets. It requires positioning of country, positioning of policies, positioning of wealth. And it requires building prosperity block by block. Many Guyanese sit and complain about other nationalities that soaked up the opportunities in the region. They were able to do so because their countries were positioned in a particular time in history to allow them to do so. And they took advantage of the country positioning. They didn't sleep on the opportunity. They bought up all the franchise that you could have think of. All the franchise you can think of, they bought it up. They invested in distribution chains. They moved from sole trading to corporations. They built consortiums. And they established themselves firmly throughout the region because they never saw their market confined by the boundaries of their country. What are we doing? How are we leveraging? How are we going to leverage? How are we going to make use of this opportunity? This is not just about the Shorebase today. I'll be very disappointed if we look at this as this is a Shorebase. This is that one additional asset that allows us to build one of the best marine industry and marine sector in the region. This is that one additional asset that positions us to build a transport and logistics hub and link that is key and critical and brings a new opportunity with it. This is a means to the end and not the end by itself. And when you look at the impact of policy making and the impact of investment and the impact of infrastructure and how it translates into personal and community wealth, just look at the lands along the New Schoonard Highway and tell me how much was those lands 4 years ago per acre and how much is it today. And yet you'll have people who will say, what infrastructure can do? A new hospital in West Demerara will commence soon. $50 million US, state of the art. That is what the investment is going to do. World-class education, world-class healthcare. And let me tell you, in terms of rate of improvement, and I say this without a shadow of a doubt, there is no public healthcare institution in this region, in the Caribbean and Latin America, that has improved at the pace at which Georgetown Hospital has improved. And I can give you the stats. I can give you the stats to back it up. Look at our infant mortality rate. Look at the number of beds to 10,000 population. The number of nurses and doctors to 10,000 population. Among the best in the region. This didn't happen by accident. Not guesswork. It's careful planning and powerful execution. Careful planning and powerful execution. We don't jump on a stage every day and speak about these things. But I see from front row the type of changes that is taking place. I challenge anyone who did not go on the East Bank or East Coast for the last 3 years to go at the back there and tell me what they think. Go and look, go and see for yourselves the value that is being created. The economic opportunities that are being accelerated. You will see for yourselves the offshoot the results of sound policy making. And I agree that if not immediately the refinery, it must be something that gives us energy dominance for the region. It must be an investment that allows us to convert our crude into benefit for our population and into positioning for our country. We can't have 1 million barrel crude and we don't have the positioning power within the region. You learn from the best. Positioning power help you in trade negotiation. Positioning power help you in trade negotiation. We can complain all our life about the unequal trade platform that exists within the region. It was all about positioning power. We're humble about it, but we're not shy about it. We must understand the moment of history that we are in. And we must utilize this moment of history to define what the future history of our country would be. And it's not about oil and gas. It's about leveraging oil and gas, leveraging the revenue from oil and gas in building a world-class, diversified, sustainable economy. And you have some of these policymakers, well, I don't know, no, I'm using the term loosely, who would speak about, oh, how much of the fund are you using? And then bring Norway example immediately with that. I want to ask them to answer a question. Where did the first 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years of Norway natural resource revenue went? Where did it go? Answer that question. Where did the revenue go? It went in building a modern government. It went on building technology. It went on building a world-class labor force. It went on building a world-class healthcare sector, a world-class education, and it went on building a diversified economic platform. That is where it went. My friends, I don't intend to be long today. But we must understand the moment in history that we are in. When I went to the EU, you know, every single thing that we said we would do, we heard the pessimists in our society all doubted us. We said 50,000 jobs, they said we are crazy. Done and dusted. We said 50,000 house starts, mad people, done and dusted. We said the new 4-lane bridge across the Demerara River, it will not happen. It will be done and dusted. Last year, the UN, I said that we are going to host in Guyana the first World Biodiversity Summit, and we're going to lead not only on environment and climate, but in biodiversity. And this year, you will see your country taking center stage in global leadership on biodiversity. Because we have to position ourselves, being the leader in environment, biodiversity, the leader on energy in the region, the leader on food security in the region. And we have to build to ensure that Guyana becomes the leading destination for nature and eco-based tourism. We have to. We have to put our heads together. We have to make the investments. We have to build out the hinterland airstrips. We have to further incentivize the private sector in this direction. We have to reach out and bring the best partners in this business to our shores. If we want to win, we have to play with the best. We have to embrace the best. We have to partner with the best. We can't win seeking the second best. We have to win seeking the best. Who are the best in class for us? This journey must also bring our country together. Every single day I see our country coming together in unbelievable ways. Let me tell the older generation something. This new generation of Guyanese are all about one Guyana. If you are stuck in the historical mold of self-complexity, of self-serving interests, you shall be dead in that mold. You shall be dead in that mold. We are ready to embrace the challenges of the future, to apply and adopt the best technology, to build the most skilled labor force in this region, to build an economy that is ecologically, economically, and socially sustainable. And I want to remind debaters in Parliament that AI is a tool. Be careful. AI is a tool to help you. It is not a thinking platform. It is not a management platform. And it is not, definitely not a public policy making platform. It is but a tool. Stop generating AI speeches and regurgitate it. And I ask the Speaker of the National Assembly to save us from those who use this tool as their thinking, as their policy-making platform, and as their management platform. AI is just but a tool. It does not negate the human power to think, to analyze, and to critically evaluate. Let me say also that the country that we are building must be one in which the availability of goods and services is there for every segment of the population. Not only must it be available, but it must be affordable. Not only must it be affordable, but it must be achieved through due process. We have to remove the human element of bias from public service and move to a more conscious system. The human biases in public service must be removed, and that must be supported and be an important pillar of good governance. When you talk about intergenerational equity and intragenerational equity, there's a difference. Because you can't achieve intergenerational equity without fulfilling intragenerational equity. Intergenerational equity is ensuring those who are part of the process now also benefit from the process, whilst you build for the next generation through intergeneration to benefit from greater prosperity from the process. And that is why we must do both at the same time. That is why we have to build first world healthcare, but invest in the improvement of the current healthcare also, so that there is inter and intra. And we have to practice public policy that is responsible. This is an election year. We could have been very irresponsible and do everything that everybody wants. But we understand what responsible policy making is about. And the private sector too must adopt this level of responsibility. You know, if you look at this consortium here, I listened to Michelle and you know, she captured it all. They're using all these beautiful local dishes. I think they're managing their budget. Because that man bring all of us for $300 million investment, and here they're going to give me pulauri and bara and baigani. Knowing Eddie Boyer and Alfonso, that combination is deadly. So Michelle, yes, we're gonna arrange, we're gonna enjoy the local stuff, but I know you got good beef and prawns and so over here too, you know. But as I said, the future before us is an exciting one. But it requires critical thinkers. It requires boldness. It requires adjustment in the cultural makeup of the way we do business. As uncomfortable as giving up space may seem, giving up space to expand room is better in the long run. Understand what I just said? Giving up space to expand room in the long term is much more sustainable for you. We are no longer dreaming of the days when our healthcare system will be the best in the region. Those days are far coming upon us. Soon, we will launch the region first digital school, the Guyana Digital School, that will enable 24 hours learning. That would enable children to have targeted learning. Those who are registered in that school, if you do mathematics, for example, in the digital school, the areas of your weaknesses will be identified. And through AI, a program will be developed specifically for your weakness and sent to you for extra lessons. We are applying tomorrow's technology today in our country. It is going to be a learning curve. There are going to be missteps. There are going to be challenges. There are going to be some failures too. But what is failure in the pursuit of success? What is failure in the pursuit of success? It is not failure. It is not failure. Let us embrace the future. Embrace our country's journey. Embrace a country and a future that will be fulfilling for every generation of Guyanese ahead of us. I thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali. A proud moment for you, no doubt, for Region 3 and for all of Guyana.
From 10, are you ready?
Are we ready, everybody? Help us to count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And here we go as we cut the ribbon. A round of applause. The ribbon has been cut. Of course, we feel that excitement there. We'll have the photographers take the official photos before the party on stage come off. But please, we'll allow you a few seconds, photographers and videographers. President, Prime Minister, and all the key stakeholders and our children, our third generation children. And Nick promised us a wow moment, and that is going to come up in just a moment. After which, you're all invited to partake in the modest refreshments and beverages that have been prepared by the team for your enjoyment. Fitting occasion, the fireworks mark the conclusion of the program. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Let us enjoy the evening with the team here at the port of Vreed-en-Hoop.